That couldn't have gone better.
Well, the timing was perfect.
If you say so, Junior.
Next up, we've got a real cracker.
Is it Casual Friday?
What's going on here?
Oh, wait a minute. Yellow tracksuit, sword. We're doing Kill Bill myths.
The fans can't get enough of our martial arts myths. And in fact, since the ninja special, we've been inundated with requests to do the coffin punch scene from Kill Bill.
That's the scene where she's buried alive and she punches her way through the casket, climbs through 6 feet of dirt with her bare hands.
Right. No sword, right?
There's no sword.
Okay, put the sword down.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
It's a chilling scene that nightmares are made of, as our yellow-suited heroine literally gets buried alive. Trapped 6 feet under, escape seems impossible. Unless, of course, you are a trained martial arts assassin. So, undeterred by being interred, our heroine uses a series of 3-inch power punches, cracks the casket, worms through the soil, and lives to take her revenge. But is such a death-defying deed really doable?
All right, you guys, how do you want to test this one?
Well, I think the biggest issue is going to be the fact that she didn't have a lot of room to punch. She only had about 3 inches. So we have to see how much force you can generate from just a 3-inch punch.
Then I think we should get a real coffin and see how much force it takes to break through that.
All right, well, assuming we can punch through the lid, then we need to find out if you can dig through 6 feet of dirt with your bare hands.
Well, before I even get to that, how are we going to test force? Last time we tested the force of a punch, we almost broke Tori's hand.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got a brand new technique. I guarantee you no one is going to get hurt.
Last time they tested punching power, Grant's invention busted more fists than myths. So this time, he's gone high-tech.
I've got a TechScan flexible sensor, plugs into a USB evolution handle, and that goes into my computer. And the computer will be able to record the exact amount of force applied to the sensor.
With our trio unable to punch their way out of a paper bag, they head off to meet a real punching pro, mixed martial arts maestro John Fitch.
How often do you get to meet an actual professional MMA fighter? But we get a chance to actually work with him and measure how much strength he has in his punch. I mean, this is like a dream come true.
But does Fitch the Fist have what it takes to tackle this coffin punching myth? Well, here's one way to find out. Tori's mom, in fact, any members of the Bellacci family may want to avert their eyes. Yep, in less than 1 minute, Boom Boom's doomed.
That's it. Good night.
Meaning Fitchy's the fighter they're after. So now it's time to crunch the numbers.
We brought our whole measurement system, and we're going to measure his punch force. I'll take his actual fighting glove and calibrate that with our punching bag and see exactly how hard he can punch.
So this is our makeshift casket. You're gonna lay down on your back and punch up at the sensor.
The fist assumes the position. Cramped as though in a casket, it's this punch that's key to this myth. So what's the verdict?
So check this out. Your force on your back at coffin height, 1,482 pounds.
With punch data gathered from martial arts expert John Fitch, next, the team needs a casket. And that's where Carrie comes in.
I'm going to make it as realistic as possible, so I'm going to use all the same materials, I'm going to make it all the same size, and then we can see for ourselves if we can punch through a real casket.
It's 3/4-inch pine made to funeral and movie specifications and comes with a see-through side for testing purposes. Then there's the grave site. That's Tori's contribution.
So I've come up with a design to test this safely. What I'm gonna do is build a box that will hold the 6 feet of dirt. And then what I'm gonna do is raise that up off the ground 4 feet with steel legs. And then what I'm gonna do is put the casket underneath that box. Once I have the casket in, we have the dirt in place, then we can start testing whether or not it's possible to break through the casket and dig through 6 feet of dirt.
More on that later, because right now it's on to the punch itself. With John Fitch unavailable, that's down to Grant. And no prizes for guessing his design.
That's right. I'm going to build a robot. Using the robot, we'll match it to John Fitch's punching strength, and then try and punch through the coffin lid.
And thanks to the wonder of editing, it's a case of no sooner said than done. Voila! A robotic punching machine that can give the Coffin a fearful cuffin.
I think it's working.
And that means Robo-Fist is ready for a test.
And I'm just gonna dial up the pressure until the robot can punch as hard as John Fitch.
Remember, even with a tiny 3-inch punch, John Fitch managed a whopping 1,400-pound wallop. Grant's going to have to match that exactly. Grant gets things rolling just short of 200 PSI.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
And what do you know?
Yo beauty! So, at 185 PSI, the robot is punching at 1,430 pounds, which is exactly in the range that John Fitch can punch. And it's punching at the right speed. So now, it's time to bring in a casket and see how the robot does against that.
So Robo-Fist comes out swinging.
Yeah! Oh, wow!
And almost immediately, cracks start to appear.
He's alive!
Yep, the lid is split.
Punch through!
But progress is, should we say, not exactly progressing.
That crack looks like it's wider.
Kinda.
300 punches on, and Tori, for one, is losing focus.
Tails.
But after 30 minutes, the Coffin puncher would be on his last legs, so to speak, with very little air left. So Carrie rings the bell on the final round.
600 punches, and it still didn't punch its way out.
Yep, the casket cracked all right. But even without dirt on top, Robo-Fist couldn't break through.
The robot worked great. However, we were not able to punch through the casket. And that is 600 punches at full strength the whole time. I mean, a person probably would get tired if they were in there. They would be running out of oxygen. The robot didn't have any of those limitations, and it still wasn't able to break through the casket top.
But all is not lost, because for test 2, the guys are going to get down and dirty. They're going to bury the casket 6 feet under, and that might just give them the cracking they're after. Their coffin is 8 feet long, 3 feet wide, and will be buried 6 feet deep. That means it's covered with over 12,000 pounds of dirt. This extra pressure may do nothing at all, but it could create such a serious strain on the lid that it's actually easier to break through. So bring on Tori's masterpiece, a mobile graveyard with a box on top to house 6 feet of dirt. And the casket fits snug underneath.
Tori's rig right there, with a coffin 6 feet under, with a pallet of 4 by 8 dirt. Will give you between 12 and 16,000 pounds approximately, all resting on a lid made of 3/4-inch pine.
And your prediction, Carrie?
I think you might be able to punch your way out. I just think you're gonna die once it happens.
And on that cheery thought, Grant gets things cracking.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Look at it, it's already starting to crack the lid.
Just like last time, Robo-Fist immediately starts lifting the lid. But will it be able to punch a hole clean through?
That's 150 punches.
And he still hasn't broken through. I mean, you wouldn't be able to punch that many times. You would have run out of oxygen way before this.
And your wrist would be broken, your knuckles would be bloody.
But also, just like last time, the initial splits do not turn into escapable cracks, even after 600 punches.
Well, the coffin lid cracked a little bit, but it didn't cave in.
I know, this is not looking good for this myth. It's looking busted.
You go to the movies often?
No.
All right, but you are aware that they get made in a place called Hollywood, right?
Sure.
Okay, I'll proceed. Hollywood's relationship to physics has provided us with some of our best episodes, and this episode is no exception.
How so?
Well, we have 2 stories about cars and how they crash. The first one is kind of an old slapstick routine. 2 workmen are carrying a huge pane of glass across the street, and a vehicle driving down that street doesn't see the glass and drives right through it, shattering and destroying all the glass, but leaving the workers completely unharmed.
You mean they don't bleed?
That's right. The two guys carrying the glass are completely unbloodied at the end of this.
So how do you figure we should test this?
Well, I think it's pretty straightforward. We get several different types of glass. We get workers that can bleed if they've been hit, and a car, and we're pretty much ready to go.
Sounds good.
Let's hit the road.
No, you mean let's hit the glass.
So to find out if the window fitters would be glazed and confused or painfully wounded, first, Adam gets to work on some bleeding workmen.
What I need to make is a human analog that can potentially get injured in the way that the glass might hurt them, i.e. getting slashed. So that's what I'm about to do.
Yep, Adam's got a slashable surrogate in the pipeline.
All that work to put 4 pieces of pipe back together.
By wrapping a foamy layer of flesh in a plastic skin,
Worst duvet cover ever.
binding it in place, and then giving it a transfusion. It's ready to draw the first blood.
Okay, good. I'm gonna simulate a glass injury now. Here we go. Oh, by now it should be pretty obvious how we intend this human analog to work. These are gonna be placed next to the glass that we're driving through in our car. If any of the glass slices through and causes an injury to our human, we know that's an injury you would have sustained if you were carrying glass when someone drove through it.
Adam's plastic wrap design mimics the slashability of human skin. So now they're ready to cut to the chase.
This is a perfect street to make some glass slide.
Step 1 is to set up their window workers.
Stand back, we got a bleeder. That's perfect.
With the blood pumped into both pipe people
The first hurdle of the day has been crossed. That is, no leaks in my bleeders.
they each get a pretty face. And then in rolls the final ingredient.
Here comes the glass.
But there's more than one type of glass on the back of that truck.
Hey,
For good reason.
Now, clearly, our world is full of glass, but all glass does not break equally. In the world, there are 3 main types of glass that we encounter. The first one is tempered glass. It's been specially hardened. That also means it's especially brittle, and it breaks into a million little pieces like the side window in your car. The second type is laminated glass. This is 2 regular sheets of glass with a gum layer in between, and when it breaks, it stays together like the windshield of your car. The third is regular window glass. There's nothing special about this, except that it breaks into bigger chunks. Of these 3 kinds, I have to say, this one, that doesn't scare me that much. Little pieces, not so much. These big chunks, they scare the hell out of me.
yep.
And it's those scary big chunks that make plate glass the most obvious choice to test first.
Whew, there it is. Plate glass, guaranteed destruction.
Because not only does it have serious potential for piercing, it's also the most common.
This is basic glass, straightforward glass, except this 1/4-inch thick piece is 8 feet wide and 6 feet tall, and I believe has the most amount of potential for rendering our glass movers dead. But we gotta drive through it to find out.
And while Adam and I are going to be doing this experiment from within the relative safety of the car, there is a certain element of risk. And so with that in mind, we're going to be wearing helmets.
And to make sure no glass penetrates the cab of our car, we've covered and protected our windshield with a nice fat sheet of 1/4-inch thick polycarbonate.
That's right, because this myth all comes down to the injuries outside the car.
Okay, this is for real. Plate glass at 30 miles an hour. 3, 2, 1, here we go. It just took in what we're actually doing.
You're at 30.
I'm at 30, here we go. I'm in the slot, ramming speed, here we go! Whoa!
The guys clearly broke the pain barrier, shattering the glass into thousands of shards. But the question is, how did the foam fill-ins handle the shatter?
Oh, no! Oh, dude, we got a gusher But then, that was his only purpose in life.
Yeah, he bled out pretty quickly, didn't he? Only one spot, that's all we got?
Only one spot! This guy's totally fine.
Yep, unlike the slapstick smash cliche, the glass isn't the only thing that's worse for wear after the crash. But what's surprising is that one workman managed to survive without a scratch.
I have to admit, I am kind of shocked by how relatively little damage our glass movers sustained from the hitting of the plate glass. And look at these chunks. These things would take your arm off, and yet we ended up with one small and one kind of big laceration. I'm surprised.
So there could be an element of truth to the slapstick story.
The next piece of glass we're going to be driving through in full scale is laminated glass, referred to in the industry as lammy. Now remember, this is 2 panes of regular glass with a layer in between of plastic that keeps the whole thing together when you hit it. Will that happen when we hit it? That's what we're about to find out.
So this windshield glass is designed not to shatter on impact, but to stay in one piece. However, will that mean that the workers get their slapstick happy ending and remain unharmed? Well, this time around, the Heinemann is behind the wheel, and it's time to test this hit and run.
Laminated glass, 30 miles an hour in 3, 2, 1, go.
Jamie puts the pedal to the metal.
You're gonna feel it.
Gets the car up to 30 miles per hour.
Thread the needle, baby.
And the guys brace for impact.
Here we go. Oh!
I'm okay, you okay?
I'm totally fine.
This time it was more fracture than fragment. But the laminated glass did separate more than expected.
Ah, the laminated glass did not stay together.
It seems like it more or less stayed in, what, a dozen pieces?
Also,
No blood.
no blood at all. No blood whatsoever. That was a bloodless accident.
Yep, on impact, the glass cleaved into large chunks, meaning that the bleeders may have felt pain, but they remained scratch-free.
I have to say, from inside the car, I was prepared for a much bigger hit than we ended up actually feeling. But I did have the distinct impression once we touched the laminated glass that we were driving through it like a tunnel. And here before me is exactly that story. Look at this, a car-shaped hole in the glass.
So after 2 shatter tests, it's 1 apiece in the injured worker stakes. So now, time for the decider, the tempered glass. But will the so-called safety glass be the safest yet?
Oh, nice, I'm happy with that.
Adam gives it a spray to make it visible on high speed. And then it's make or break for the myth.
I have a prediction as to how this is going to go. I don't think any of those little pieces are actually going to harm our dudes. I think they're all going to fly forward, and I think our dudes are going to be fine.
That's Adam's theory, but now to test it.
Okay, here we go. Tempered glass at 30 miles an hour in 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh, this is awesome.
You're at
There we
30.
go. I'm at 30. Oh, it's about to happen. Yeah! Wow! That was awesome, except that I closed my eyes right when it happened.
He may have closed his eyes, but as they race back to the bleeders, the results are a real eye-opener.
Holy crap, somebody's dead.
Yeah, it's not a very nice place either, is it?
Oh, man. Wow, look at that. That's
So-
tempered glass. I thought this was going to be the one that didn't do anything to him, and this guy is beat up. And this guy, too.
It seems it's the way it shatters that matters. The tempered glass is designed to break into thousands of tiny pieces on impact. But because those pieces are flying through the air at 30 miles an hour, that's more than enough to cause a death by 1,000 cuts situation.
Well, I was right about one thing. The tempered glass did break into a million little pieces. About everything else, I was pretty off the mark. The glass did not go forward from the point of impact. Well, a good portion of it did, but about half of it also went backwards from the point of impact, like an explosion. And our two dudes did not escape unscathed. They had puncture wounds all up and down their bodies. I have a whole newfound respect for tempered glass.
A whole newfound respect. But how does that leave the myth?
So when it comes to shattering glass in slapstick movies, how do we stand?
Well, the idea that the guys moving the glass escape every single time completely unharmed, I believe that we've shattered that myth.
You're a pain.
Let's go away.
Oh, hold on a second.
Nice. Way to make an exit.
I understand you guys have a real mind bender of a story here.
Yeah, we're actually going to test the classic conspiracist favorite of government mind control.
Well, that could be all sorts of things, couldn't it? I mean, like hypnosis, for example, or I know they did some testing where they put electrodes into your brain, they put a little current through it, they can make you do certain things.
Look into the hypnotic eye.
It's long been a sci-fi favorite. In the 1950s, mind control was a recurring theme in B-movies, where women became the playthings of a psychic psycho.
Your body is growing stiff.
Today, conspiracy theorists claim governments still use an array of mind control techniques to have their wicked way with Joe Public.
Well, yes, it could be many, many things, but ethically here on Mythbusters, we can't go around putting chips in people's heads. So we're going to start right off from the beginning and define it very narrowly. And our definition of mind control is a device which can remotely influence a person's behavior without their knowledge or their consent.
We're also going to use the criteria that you guys used on free energy. We're only going to use plans, kits, or patents that we can find on the web. And there are a lot of them.
Mind control follows the well-trodden Mythbusters path of Oogie Boogie myths.
Wow.
Adam and Jamie established the genre when they tested and busted the conspiracy theory that government microchips were being secretly planted in blood donors.
All right, Grant, so we have 3 kits that we got off the internet for mind control. One here is psionic helmet. We got here an electronic hypnotizer, and then this is a silent sound mind control device. Which one do you think you want to do first?
Well, I do the electronic stuff all the time, so I think I'm most interested in the psionic helmet. This is the psionic helmet, and I am not exactly sure what principle it works on, but if I would have to guess, I think it would be able to enhance my own inherent telepathic ability.
At $290, the build-it-yourself kit consists of, let's face it, a bicycle helmet and a wooden dowel wrapped in leather and topped with a crystal. But there's more to it than that. According to the plans, the psychic powers of the crystal rod require fine-tuning, so Grant wires it up to a couple of control knobs. And the helmet's ready for action.
Jamie and Adam are coming over here to do a blueprint. I'm going to see if I can use the helmet to influence Jamie to remove his beret.
The beret one is unaware that he's the subject of a psychic experiment. Then he spots the hat.
Hi, Jamie.
What you doing?
Nothing. Did you have a good weekend?
Tori attempts casual conversation while trying to tune in the psionic helmet. Jamie's baffled, but Tori's feeling the force.
That was perfect, because as we have a conversation, I was able to dial into his psychic energy. He has no clue. Now I'm ready to make him take his beret off.
For 90 minutes, Tori summons up all his powers of concentration, but Jamie's beret stays firmly on his bunks.
My opinion right now is that the psionic helmet is totally busted, but I'm not going to give up yet. I'm going to keep trying.
Grant has been busy assembling the 2 other mind-altering devices he found on the internet. First, the electronic hypnotizer. Believe it or not, its flashing light and pulsing tone can supposedly send people into an hypnotic trance.
The tones go from very fast and very high pitch to very slow and drony. Mostly they're just really annoying.
Next, Grant tackles every conspiracy theorist's favorite, subliminal sound.
This device works on audio. It takes your voice commands and embeds them in some kind of music or other program material, audio program material.
Subliminal messaging.
That's cool.
From the subliminal back to the ridiculous, Tori takes to the road to try out the psionic helmet on the American people.
We are on a serious mission to test the mind control device, so we're gonna take it out into the public. We're gonna go to one of our favorite coffee shops. We're gonna test it there, see if it works.
Tori's psychic master plan is to place an order without moving his lips.
He's all set with drinks? Yeah, with some lunch.
General Manager Rachel Law plays along, suspecting this guy in the helmet may have escaped from an institution.
Double espresso? Cappuccino? Juice squeeze. Coffee.
She runs through every beverage on the menu, except the one that Tori is trying to project.
Espresso? Half sandwich and soup?
This isn't working. This thing sucks. All right, give me a mocha.
Mocha. Single.
Make it two.
All right.
So you didn't get the message of mocha.
No. They did.
We got it. So weird. We were both thinking, God,
That guy wants a mocha.
I can't even figure it out. Are you sure you didn't have it pointed the right way?
Yeah, you must have had it on backwards.
Right? That's what happened.
Tori's fooling no one. If they want to test mind control properly, they're going to have to quit the clowning around.
I think what we need to do is build some kind of a chamber that isolates the subject, gets rid of all the distracting variables, so that way we can kind of see if there is any influence that these mind control devices are having.
Also, I mean, they all claim to affect the brain waves in some way. So I would really like to get an EEG in here and hook it up, because that is how they measure brain waves in medicine.
EEG machines monitor the working of the human brain in real time. A network of electrodes detects minute changes in electromagnetic energy, released when neurons in the brain fire. So using one to measure mind control is a bit of a brainwave.
This is perfect, because if we could see that these mind control devices affects any bit of the brainwave, that there might be some validity to this mind control stuff.
So they get to work building an isolation chamber in which they'll test out various devices on an unsuspecting subject who'll be wired up to an EEG machine. As well as creating a test arena, they're also on the hunt for more mind control products. They will test out Carrie's hypnotizer. Grant has been trawling through a pile of plans from the patent office.
Well, we started with a patent search because these 94 patents constitute evidence that conspiracy theorists use to say that the government is in fact conducting mind control experiments.
All right, Grant, so you had all day and all night. Did you narrow it down?
Yeah, I've chosen two. One has to do with pulsed air, and the other has to do with a rotating bar magnet. And both of them excite the half-hertz sensory resonance.
Machines that pulse a weak electromagnetic field once every 2 seconds can supposedly excite the brain's half-hertz sensory resonance, leading to feelings of tension, sleepiness, or even sexual excitation.
So out of all 94, these are the two that you think are the best for us to try?
Yes, these were the two easiest things to build, and they sounded like they had the highest chance of success.
Grant swings into action on the rotating magnet device. Apparently, this spinning magnet is ideal to stimulate that half-hertz sensory resonance, as long as you get the speed spot on.
And in fact, it's got to go really slow, half hertz, which means 1 revolution every 2 seconds. That's about right.
Meanwhile, Tori is struggling with the concept of the pulsed air machine.
I'm building a subliminal acoustic simulator. No, generator, manipulator, nervous system, manipulator. I'm manipulating the nervous system, and what I'm trying to do is manipulate that frequency by changing the atmospheric pressure.
Tori might not be able to say subliminal atmospheric acoustic pulses, but he can rig up a fan to make them.
All right, so I've installed my, my wind interrupter, And I'm about to attach the fan, and if you want to take a look here, I'll show you how it works. Each time this disc rotates, it'll break the airstream.
The fan blows air exactly once every 2 seconds. The magic half-hertz cycle that causes sensory resonance in the subject. But unfortunately, the rig sucks. Literally.
Oh man, the fan backwards. It's sucking out instead of blowing in. I'm gonna have to flip the fan.
Tori flips. The fan, that is. And at last, everything's in place for the great mind control marathon. Our mind control masterminds have turned M5 into a psychic observation center. They've built an isolation chamber and several mind control devices, which they're about to test with the help of an EEG machine.
Behind me here, we have mission control. We have our audio and visual feeds so we can see exactly what's going on with our subject inside the isolation chamber. We also have a monitor, which is going to show us their brain waves, and we can see if there's any sort of odd activity when we're doing our tests.
Everything is set, but before they try the mind control devices, Carrie volunteers to make sure the EEG machine works. But she could be in for a shock.
Hand me a bobby pin, I'll tie this in a knot.
Stylist Grant Imahara has come up with a new look, which involves electrodes and conductive paste.
You're doing great, Carrie. You're really...
Dude, you sound like the dentist.
You're doing great.
Whenever they're putting you through something painful.
Okay, so now we're gonna do your ear. It's gonna be weird. Ready? You just chill out here. Try and relax. I'll let you know when it's done.
Okay.
As she settles, her neural activity decreases and stabilizes. But with the baseline established, Tori and Grant can't resist playing mind games with Carrie.
We can see what's going on in her brain.
Yeah, hang on. Okay, ready? Go ahead. Good. It's cool. It works.
Grant's seen enough, and what he's seen, he likes.
We did see a huge spike in the response when Tori kicked the door. So that indicates that the system is working.
I'm glad we know how to use it now.
So it's all go for mind control. They have a working EEG machine that will quantify any changes in the subject's brainwave activity. An important consideration, because the 5 devices may be having an effect without any visible outward signs. It's time to get down to business. He's the only one in M5 still in the dark about the mind control experiments, so he qualifies for the job.
How do you feel about high voltage shocks?
on myself or others?
That's the right answer. John might actually make mind control material. First, they establish his EEG baseline. 5 minutes without stimuli, and John's baseline is looking steady. Time to fire up the first mind-molding machine.
The interrupter is rotating.
They run the pulsed air experiment for 10 minutes, keeping one eye on John's behavior and the other on his brainwave patterns. These atmospheric pulses are supposed to excite John's half-hertz sensory resonance. The effects can range from sleepiness to sexual excitation. To Grant and Tori's untrained eye, John appears unaffected. He hasn't fallen asleep and doesn't look excited. But for confirmation his brainwaves haven't been affected, we'll have to wait for the EEG results to come back from the experts.
I feel good. Good. Do you have the bees ready?
It's time for the rotating magnet. Just like the pulsed air machine, it's supposed to excite the half-hertz sensory resonance. So Tori and Grant are once again looking for changes in either John's brainwave activity or his behavior. But once again, John looks unmoved. 2 tests down, and the only sign of a result are Tori's delusions of power. Next up is the subliminal sound device. This device apparently works by sending out a secretly encrypted audio message that can only be heard by the unconscious mind.
Go.
Touch nose, touch nose, touch nose.
8 minutes in, and it's Tori, not John, who starts to crack.
Touch your nose, you little punk. I swear to God, you better touch your nose. Touch nose, touch nose, touch nose. Don't make me come in there, touch your nose.
John's nose remains untouched, and it's time for the final test. Next is Carrie's electronic hypnosis. This flashing light and tone apparently combine to induce an hypnotic state, which we'll be able to see on the EEG.
Next thing we're gonna do is make the pitch a little bit lower now, because right now it's kind of annoying and fast.
There's a jump in his brainwave.
This time, John's brainwaves are clearly affected. And distracted by the pulsing tone themselves, Tori and Grant miss what could be the most significant result of the experiment so far. John touches his nose. Was it a delayed reaction to the subliminal sounds? Or just an itch? The jury assembles, and it's time for the results.
I gotta tell you, I really thought this was gonna be a pyramid power waste of your time, but it sounds like you might have gotten some real results on this mind control thing. The first one up is psionic helmet.
Psionic helmet totally works.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's until you can prove ESP, you're not going to be able to test this one, so we're calling this one busted.
Not surprisingly, a crystal mounted on a bicycle helmet does not give the wearer a third eye.
Okay, pulsed air.
The pulsed air, it didn't show any effects on the brainwaves, and there's no real scientific evidence that proves that it works.
So far, it's a waste of time.
The results from the EEG experts showed the rotating magnet may have had an effect on John's brainwaves.
Rotating magnets.
Now, the rotating magnet actually did have an effect on John's brain waves while it was spinning. However, there's a slight possibility that it was affecting the EEG itself. There is scientific evidence to say that direct electrical stimuli can influence behavior, so we're going to call this one plausible.
So with the score at 2 busted and 1 plausible, what were the results for silent sound? Although John did eventually touch his nose, it was during the final test with the hypnotizer. Plus, the expert analysis of the EEG readings came back negative, proving silent sound is busted, and it really was just an itch.
Okay, hypnosis.
Well, we did see a change in John's brainwave. There's evidence to suggest that remote hypnosis does work, so this one is also plausible.
But it's a really limited effect, and like all of these mind control devices, they're not sophisticated enough to, say, make you buy more popcorn or drink more soda
Or kill the president.
Yeah.
So that's it. We can all sleep safely in our beds. The final score is 3 busted, 2 plausible, and 1 more mind-boggling myth laid to rest. Darth Heinemann and Jedi Savage go head-to-head in a lightsaber duel to tackle the myth of higher ground.
So tell me about this higher ground thing.
Well, it takes place at the end of the 3rd Star Wars movie. Obi-Wan and Anakin are having an epic battle with lightsabers. And at the battle's climax, Obi-Wan is standing on a hill slightly above Anakin, and he says to him,
"It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!"
Well, from a military perspective, it makes sense, but as far as one-on-one, I'm not so sure. What happens in the movie?
Right after he says that, Obi-Wan proceeds to chop off a bunch of Anakin's limbs.
So the myth is that if you have higher ground, it's guaranteed you'll win.
Exactly. Ready to do some sword fighting?
Sure.
Anakin versus Obi-Wan, a pivotal moment in the Star Wars canon. An epic battle that results in the birth of Darth Vader. But is topography really the deciding factor?
Now, Jamie and I are going to be battling with swords, but it begs the question, how do you determine who wins? Well, we think with lightsabers, it's pretty straightforward. First touch wins, really, because anything you touch with a lightsaber, you're pretty much taken home as a keepsake. And I believe I have an idea for determining definitively who wins each of our sword battles.
To test the dueling advantage of higher ground,
fascinating.
Adam's connecting the dots on a complicated conductive plan.
Mindbender.
Once revealed, it will clearly show who wins each battle.
Ding.
Thanks to bright lights lit up by a lightsaber.
Blue and yellow it is.
And clever clothing that can carry a current.
This, believe it or not, is actually metal. It moves like fabric. It is an incredibly fine copper mesh. It's super conductive, and that's why I'm using it. I'm gonna make some clothing out of this stuff. Nice, one-size-fits-all conductive pants.
With the copper conductive clothing complete,
oh yeah,
It's time for the
Lightsabers.
What about them?
Well, there's probably some people wondering about now whether we're going to spend part of this episode making our own real lightsabers.
Well, I've got news for them. We're not.
No.
For a whole host of reasons.
Yes, not least of which, photons. Light is made up of photons, but photons move in a single direction. You can't program one to stop 3 feet from its source. And even if you gather a bunch in a small place, like we do with lasers, the beams of a lightsaber would likely pass right through each other.
Well, and then there's the power required, because while there are lasers that cut through stone and metal, they require a massive power input. You'd have to have something like a small nuclear reactor attached to it.
meaning to test this age-old military adage,
I'm making a lightsaber.
Adam's faking them.
So a lightsaber is massless, right? The blade has no mass, it's just light.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, muy auténtico.
So we need our blade to be incredibly light, which is good because we want to be able to smack on each other without hurting each other. And the blade in this case will be played by a beautiful, super light, crazy light carbon fiber tube. Oh, that's cool. It feels like there's almost nothing there.
The final stage is a layer of foam pipe insulation, over which goes a sheath of conductive copper mesh.
This is reminding me of something. Time to put the padding on the saber. Oh, good, good, good. That's exactly what I wanted.
Adam's finally ready to reveal his plan.
There's your Jedi weapon. What I've got here is some conductive suits with conductive swords, so that as Jamie and I sword fight, it's not bad. Give me a whack. Okay, not on the face. We can determine precisely who gets hit first, and that is when my sword touches Jamie, his belt lights up. Hey, look at that, it totally worked. When he touches me, my belt lights up. Hey, there we go. And we should be able to view exactly who wins. Time for Jamie and I to sword fight. So we brought in one of the actual fight coordinators from the Star Wars films to give us a little lightsaber 101, and now we've replicated the exact pitch of terrain that Obi-Wan and Anakin have their final battle on. Also, for your viewing pleasure, we've replicated some of the aesthetics of the planet itself. We couldn't resist. Am I allowed to make my own sound effects? Okay, go ahead and turn the power on.
So how's this going to work? Well, we're going to do 25 rounds with Adam on the high ground and then 25 rounds with me on the high ground.
There you go, sir.
To protect the lower person's head, we're using this kendo helmet, and it's wired along with the rest of the suit, so we'll be able to see if we actually get a score on that.
I'm going to do a systems check on your helmet.
Yeah.
Hey, reset.
The rules are simple.
Yep.
When you get hit by a sword stroke and your lights light up, that's a point for your opponent.
Totally feels more realistic with this terrain, doesn't it?
Yeah, it came out quite nice. At the end, we'll tally up the score and see what we got.
You ready, Heidemann?
You betcha.
Are you a Sith or a Jedi?
I would be a Sith.
That's what I would have said, but I didn't want to insult you. All right, let's go, Sith. Ah, gotcha.
Our recently graduated Jedi once again do battle for science.
Nice. Gotcha. This is intense. Reset. It's pretty clear that just one day of training won't make us sword experts, but it gave us some insight into ways to move the lightsaber. And it also does what all training does. It slows the process down a little bit. Reset. I feel like it's much less of a free-for-all in this test than it was when we started. Oh, gotcha.
They are certainly more skilled,
Reset.
more clinical in their execution.
Oh, dead. Reset.
But as the contest continues, it's clear Jamie supposedly at a deadly disadvantage,
Dead!
is holding his own.
You and I are quite evenly matched, sir.
At this point, I feel like I'm making quite a number of scores. And to me, that says that this is not a definitive thing, that higher ground always wins.
Yep, and with Jamie exacting the revenge of the Sith.
You didn't quite nail me in the ghoulies, but that was a good shot. Careful with that, will you?
Part 1 of the competition reaches its exhausting conclusion.
So, that's it for the 25 rounds of Jamie from the lower ground position. Now it's my turn. We're not gonna look at the score just yet, because it's not about which one of us does better. It's about whether higher ground does significantly better than lower ground.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Heineman, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. But my intuition right now says higher ground is not a crushing advantage.
However, when Jamie takes the high ground, he immediately racks up several quick-fire wins. And Adam's obviously off balance.
Reset. Oh! Okay.
But as Adam adjusts
Oh, I got your foot there.
and finds his footing,
You got me.
it once again appears to be a relatively even contest. Despite the uneven playing field, each position seemingly offers as many scoring possibilities, equal pros and cons. And with all 50 fights done and dusted, the conclusion is clear.
Yeah, they both have their different sort of approaches. In the higher ground, you feel a slight bit of superiority because you're high up, but that's quickly dispelled by dying repeatedly.
Let me guess. Indiana Jones?
Yes, cast your mind back to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Indy and his father are racing away from the Nazis on a motorcycle. Nazis come up alongside them and are about to get them, but Indy doesn't have a weapon. Quickly thinking, he grabs a flagpole, jams it in the front spokes of the Nazi motorcycle, and...
The motorcycle flips up in the air, end over end. Bad time for the Nazi.
Exactly. That is our movie myth.
It's a classic scene from the silver screen. The doctors Jones, Jr. and Sr., are being chased by the Third Reich on bikes. But a flagpole in the front wheel of the nearest Nazi and a motorcycle flip-out sees our hero escape with a trademark cheesy grin.
This one's really interesting from a physics sense because when I look at that scene, it doesn't seem awkward or out of place, but it does beg the question, is it really that easy to redirect all the energy that's going this way to going that way?
I'm thinking that we break it down to its constituent components, test each one, and then put them all back together for a full-sized finale.
This will be fun. It's been years since I've been on a motorcycle.
Ever since that gang, right?
So first things first, it's a motorcycle myth, and we'll be needing a...
That's a bike.
Exactly.
Oh, it's lovely.
I actually rode across the country in one of these things.
No way. I'm just reeling from learning something about you I didn't know. It seems that there's a never-ending supply of those.
Okay, it may be old-fashioned, but the movie bikes are vintage World War II.
I know what you're saying. You're saying this really doesn't look like a vintage World War II era motorcycle, and it isn't. In fact, it's from 1981, but it is the exact model of bike used by the stuntmen to perform their stunts for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which means that it, and not some vintage bike, is the perfect test platform for us for this myth.
Now that that's sorted, let's kick things off as Adam and Jamie focus on the first aspect of the myth.
Since this myth is all about the poking of a flagpole into the spokes of a motorcycle, one of the things we want to know is how fast can we poke a flagpole?
Because once they know the speed of a human flagpole poke,
Nice, Tiger.
they can calibrate their remaining tests to just that.
Just plain funny to watch you exert yourself like that. I don't know why exactly. It just is. High comedy.
Whatever floats your goat.
And the high comedy on the high speed reveals the magic number to be 30 miles per hour. Cue part 2 of the experiment, a remote control flagpole thruster.
You might remember this puppy right here from Birds on a Truck, because this was our pigeon catcher.
Yep, it's not a prop from Mad Max. It really is a pigeon catcher. Not that it caught any pigeons.
It has an air reservoir, it has a valve, it has everything we need to shoot the stick into the wheels of the motorcycle. In 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that looked a tad faster than 30 miles an hour to me. But let's see what Adam thinks.
1.
That might be a little too fast.
That's what I said.
Is everybody okay?
That's dangerous.
Yeah, we might have to tune that one back. I'm not gonna get tired of that.
And so to get the speed they need, around 30 miles per hour,
This is an exceedingly weird operation.
they add some hose to decrease the pressure.
Firing in 3, 2, 1. That might be it.
That's it. That's the butter zone. 12 PSI, we get 28.5 miles per hour. That's perfect.
As odd as this sounds, after destroying their wooden backstop, they finally got the ex-pigeon catcher throwing a flagpole at a realistic speed. So, what's next?
When this bike is moving at highway speeds, the spokes are going so fast you can hardly see them. So what we need to find out is whether it's possible for a human to thrust a stick into those spokes fast enough to get them cleanly through there. And then once that occurs, what happens to the wheel?
And to get the wheel spinning at chase scene speeds, 50 miles per hour, Adam whips up a dynamometer.
And now it's time for the old spoke and poke test.
So with the bike secured, this test is all about the space between the spokes and not the full flip.
This is gonna be cool.
Will a flagpole thrust at realistic speed actually penetrate the wheel?
3, 2, 1.
Apparently not.
Well, that was a bit of a letdown.
Yes, the stick just bounced right back out. And after a second test under the same conditions, produces a similar result, the guys decide they're missing the point.
Firing. 3, 2, 1.
Perfect. Penetration, wheel stoppage, and as a bonus, some controlled mayhem.
We broke some stuff.
We successfully stopped the wheel with the stick, and that's great. That's 15 pounds coming to a dead stop from 50 miles an hour. But this was a stationary test. When we go out on the road with this, there are hundreds of pounds in this bike, plus the rider that want to keep on going. And that's where the real fun's going to start.
So it's full scale ahead, and the plan in the can looks a lot like this. At the push of a button, the bike and Buster will begin freewheeling. That, in turn, will trigger the flagpole flinger and jam the stick into the spokes. And to get things rolling in the right direction, Adam's reinventing the wheel.
Well, the first problem I think we got to solve is exemplified by taking a look at this footage again. Yeah, see that? Okay. The hubbed, spoked wheel, it's not really ideal for us to shove a stick into because those spokes are not going to stay put. We need a wheel that can stay put under continued abuse for repeated tests, and we're going to use steel plate to do it. We've had 2 of these, plasma cut out of 1/4-inch steel plate. We're going to bolt them to one of the motorcycle rims, have a tire put back on it, and a couple of flange-mounted pillow blocks on the axle, and that ought to hold up to everything we can throw at it. The Road Warrior would be proud. This thing is absolutely as solid as a rock. It's perfect. In order to go full scale with this, we need to both be able to hold this bike and let go of it at very precise timing. So we're gonna start by building a trailer that holds it upright, that on the push of a button releases it, and then once it's released, we'll fire a stick right through those front spokes.
In engineering terms, there's a mountain to climb. And what better way to show the passage of time than a montage? And a cross dissolve later, the rig is ready to roll. But before the cameras do, the team needs a change of scenery.
Ready?
Yep, let's go.
And the location they've chosen is, surprise, the disused runway at Alameda.
It's a good day for a motorcycle accident.
I think so.
Let's make a few.
Unlikely to have a motorcycle accident is Jamie, our very own cross-country motorbiking Mythbuster. But Adam?
Let's train.
Well, that's a different story.
How do you undo this?
I'm not so sure this is a good idea. Adam on a motorcycle. Even with seat belts, I worry about Adam. Are you done yet? We got some work to do. Let's get busy.
All right, let's do it. Oh! Ah.
So while Jamie reassembles the trailer and release rig, Adam brightens up the bike for its big scene. And with Buster's ride secured to the trailer, he's ready for a test run.
This may look pretty straightforward, but actually it's a pretty complicated rig, and there's a lot of little things which we're not sure exactly how they might react to getting up to speed. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. Get the whole rig up to speed and just see how it runs.
And with the truck easing up to 25 miles per hour,
I don't see any problem with that.
Buster stays upright and has no problems keeping in line.
Now it's time to start the mayhem.
Looking every inch a crash test biker tailgates the truck, ready for his moment of glory.
20 miles per hour.
And once the team are at test speed,
25.
Adam calls it.
Firing in 3, 2, 1.
That went through. It stopped the wheel. Okay, Will, stop.
Slow down and stop.
It all happened pretty fast, but a quick look at the high speed confirms the Rube Goldberg-esque rig worked like a dream. Jamie hit the switch, Buster was released.
Oh, I see it flicking the switch.
The cannon fired, and the flagpole was jammed into the spokes,
Dude! The timing is just dead on.
giving Buster a taste of asphalt.
How you doing, buddy?
But there was no sign of the mythical flip.
It couldn't be better, but I haven't seen no Michael Flippo.
Yep, no Bico Flippo, more of a Bico Topolo. So, what's next?
The next thing we're going to do is ramp the speed up a little bit so that the bike will tend to want to stay upright for longer. And we'll probably get a little more energy in the process, which means a bigger flip if we're going to get one at all.
So it's take two.
It's holding up well.
And this time they take the truck to 40.
30 miles per hour.
Okay, firing in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh!
Okay, you can stop. Tell them to stop.
Stop.
So the additional momentum didn't help the bike get airborne. Instead, that extra energy was used to snap the flagpole in half.
You know what? That right there is the test. You know, that's the test.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. It broke the stick.
I think that was the circumstances of the myth right there. We got the bike going at 40 miles per hour. We got the stick firing perfectly into the spokes. It didn't stop the bike, it didn't flip the bike, and it broke the stick.
So what's next?
Stronger stick. That was the circumstances. Let's try and get the results with a big fat steel stick. Okay, pulling 3, 2, 1, go! Give me 5 there.
Another smooth execution by the rig, and you could say the guys are pleased.
Well, that seemed to work just beautifully. It doesn't get any prettier
It
than
was
that.
flawless.
And the bike did not flip.
No, the
No.
tire skidded. You know, that's it. That's the perfect test.
It's forward momentum. It doesn't transfer immediately to vertical momentum. It makes all the sense in the world now that I've seen it happen.
You know, you could stop the bad guy that way if you happen to have a steel pipe, but it's not getting airborne. It won't happen. It's going to do exactly that.
Dude, that totally worked. Quick grenade.
The most important thing to keep in mind about this test is the traction between this wheel and the road surface.
Nice work, Buster!
If you bring the wheel to a dead stop, like you will if you put a stick between the spokes, it's going to skid. You're going to lose control. It'll slip out from under the bike and it's all over. It will not get it airborne like it did in the movie.
Oh, so satisfying.
So, no Biko Flippo, even with the mayo.
You know what we have to do, though, now? We have to finish on a bike that's doing a flip. Hook or by crook, we have to finish with that.
And that couldn't have gone better.
Well, the timing was perfect.
If you say so, Junior.
Well, let's check the footage. The mortar exploded as Adam and Jamie hit their mark. And Buster, the chasing Nazi with the stick in the spokes, goes head over handlebars.
Oh, awesome.
I'm seeing it go ass over tea kettle.
That's exactly what it looks like in the movie. And now Buster, for doing such a good job, gets his reward. He really likes it this way. Nice work, Buster! Nice work!